Welcome to Everyday Math Lesson 3.9. Today we are going to be working with fractions and mixed numbers, and we're going to work with addition and subtraction. So in fourth grade and in previous years, you've learned how to add fractions with like denominators. You know what you need to do when you add basic fractions. You have to find a common denominator. Well, now we're going to take it a step further, and we're going to work with mixed numbers. Adding and subtracting with mixed numbers can be a little challenging at times. So we are going to have to really pay attention as I'm teaching this lesson today because this is the beginning part. There are some other things that we're going to add later in the year. We're going to practice this a lot. So I just need you guys to really think things through, try my strategies. I promise they'll help. So we're going to start with a little bit of just practice and to get your brain moving a little bit. So my sister and I want to bake a cake. She wants to make a cake, and I want to make a cake because we're going to see whose cake tastes better. Each cake takes 2/3 of a cup of flour. So this is the flour that she needs. This is the flour that I need. Now, I don't want to have to go to the store, and she doesn't want to have to go to the store. So instead of buying her flour and my flour, we're just going to combine it. So we're going to add it together and see how much we need total. What I want you to do right now is using my picture, using any other tools that you know of, think about how we might be able to add 2/3 plus 2/3 to find my answer. Well, one of the things that you could do is you could actually break this one apart. So I know that it takes 1/3 to make that into a whole. So I'm going to take it away from this one for right now because it's okay. I'm going to separate it later. I'm just putting it together now to figure out my total. Perfect. So if I add them together, this is going to help me because it gives me my whole and my fraction. How many whole cups do I need? And how many fractional cups do I need? 1 and 1/3. Now, I could have just done the math, and I could have added 2/3 plus 2/3, and then my answer would have been 4/3. Absolutely, if you prefer the math way, fine. But I wanted to show you the picture because sometimes the pictures are going to help. I promise. All right. Last week, we used number lines to help us with fractions. So I'm going to tell you a story because, again, my sister and I, we like to cook a lot. We're going to make hamburger helper. It's just me and Lincoln, but she has my niece, my nephew, and her. So she has more people. So we both need hamburger for hamburger helper. So I go to the store and I get 1 and 1/3 pound, 1 3/4 pound of hamburger. I need leftovers too. It's fine. And she is going to get 2 2/4 pounds of hamburger. When we do this, the first step that you can do is you're going to add the whole number parts together. So 1 plus 2 equals 3. That's my new whole number for now. Then you can add your fractions. So I can do 3/4 plus 2/4, and I can add straight across. Or I can use pictures. So if I do 3/4 plus 2/4, my answer would be 5/4. So my answer could be 3 and 5/4, but I need to reduce, right? Or my best way is to use my thought process in pictures. So 3/4. So here's 3/4. There's 2/4. All right, I'm going to add this 3/4 here and erase this one. I know I have now 1 whole and 1/4 left. Now you're going to add that to your original whole that you had before. So 3 plus 1 and 1/4 equals 4 and 1/4. That is one way you can do this problem. My suggestion when you're adding mixed numbers is to line them up going up and down. So 1 3/4 plus 2 2/4. And then you can work one number at a time. okay? I could do 1 plus 2 is 3 over here. 3/4 plus 2/4 equals 5/4. And then I can reduce that. I know 5/4, I got to make it into a mixed number. I don't like it. It's ugly. 5/4, can't do it. 5/4 means 1 and 1/4. And then you add the bottom numbers. That's an easy way to show your work and to make sure you included your mixed numbers and your whole numbers and your fractions at the same time. Okay? We're going to do more practice with this today. So please just try to follow along and let's see if we can come up with some new strategies that'll help you. All right? Here we go. So we are on page 93 of your Everyday Math Workbook. So it says for each story, you're going to write a number model with a letter for the unknown. We've been doing that for the last couple weeks, okay? You're going to make an estimate. You're going to solve. It says you can use fraction circle pieces, a drawing, or a number line to help you. Or you can use your estimate, and then you have to use your estimate to check whether it makes sense. All right, number 1. Andrea had 1 1/5 liter of water. She drank 3/5 of a liter. How much water did she have left? How much water did she have left? Did she have left means we're going to subtract. So my number model is going to be 1 1/5 minus 3/5 equals, I'm going to do a W for water. How much water does she have left? All right, I want you to use what we learned last week with benchmarks. Think about 1 1/5. What is it close to? Think about 3/5. What is it close to? I want you to write your estimate on this line. After you have your estimate, you are going to come back to this video and then we will continue with the lesson. All right, if I were going to use benchmarks for this lesson, the first thing I would do is I would look at 1 1/5. 1 1/5 on a number line is really close to 1. It's closer to 1 than it is to 1 1/2. 3/5 is really close to half of 5, right? 3 times 2 is 6, so that's really close. So I'm going to say 1 minus 1/2. 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. Your estimate should be 1 minus 1/2 equals 1/2. Awesome. Now, I'm a picture person. I'm going to use a picture to help me. That's going to be my favorite. But for this one, I'm going to use the sample. I'm going to use the number line to help me out. Okay? So I know it's going to be fifths. So I'm going to start by drawing my number line. 0, 1, 2. Because it's bigger than 1, I got to start bigger, right? I'm going to separate each section into fifths. The way that I do that, remember, I make 5 spaces. In order to make 5 spaces, I draw 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it does need to be close. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to label it because that's going to help me. 1/5, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4 fifths. I know that's 5 fifths. 1 1/5, 1 and 2 fifths, 1 and 3 fifths, 1 and 4 fifths. All right, start labeling. Now, if you need to pause, you can, by the way. 1 and 1/5. So I'm going to start by putting my dot right there because that's how much she started with. Now, I'm subtracting 3 fifths. Ready? So if I'm subtracting, I'm going to the left. 1/5, 2 fifths, 3 fifths. So where did I stop? Where did I stop? Choose the fraction that goes along with this answer. All right, you should have said 3 fifths. Awesome. Awesome job. Now, number 2. By the way, looking at number 1, that makes number lines a lot easier, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, number 2. A table has 2 and 8/12 feet tall. and a lamp on it is 1 5/12 feet tall. What is their total height? Total height means they're going to add. So my number model, choose the number model that matches. All right, the number model you should have chosen was 2 8/12 plus 1 5/12 equals T for table. You could have used H for height. Whatever you wanted to use is fine. Now I'm going to write my estimate. So 2 8/12. Think about 8/12. What is it close to? 1 5/12. What is that close to? Choose the estimate that matches. All right, if I were doing this problem, I would say 8/12. It's close to half. It's a little bit more, but it's more like 3/4, but I'm going to keep it right at a half. I think that's going to be easier for me to use for my estimate. Remember, estimates, make them easy. So 2 1/2, because remember 8/12 is close. Plus 1 5/12 is really close to half. It's a little smaller, but not by much. Oops. So 2 1/2 minus 1 1/2, plus 1 1/2 equals what? All right, 2 plus 1, that's 3. A half plus a half is a whole, so my answer is going to be close to 4. That is what you should have done for your estimate. Now, I did the number line last time, so I'm going to do a picture this time. 2 8/12. So I'm going to draw this is how I draw my 2 8/12. Hang on, I'm going to make it a little, those have to be bigger. 2 holes and 8/12. I just draw little circles because that helps me out. Plus 1 5/12. Now I can add them together. All right, I'm going to start with my 12ths. Here's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to take these 4 and I'm going to put them in with here to make one more hole. So that means I have 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 holes, 4 holes, and 1 piece left. Your answer should be 4 1/12. That's how I did that problem. I didn't ask that as a question because I wanted you to see my thought process as I drew my picture and as I worked through the process, because some of you like the pictures better, and that's okay. So use this to help you when you answer the next few questions. Number 3. A chef had 2 pitas. Pitas are a kind of bread. Usually they call them pita pockets because it kind of looks like a little pocket. Imagine like a taco shell. For those of you that haven't seen it, it's almost like a taco shell made of bread, kind of. Okay. So the chef had 2 5/8 pitas. She used 1 7/8 pitas. How many pitas does she have left? Which number model matches this story? All right, the answer you should have chosen was 2 5/8 minus 1 7/8 equals P. The reason why we subtract is because it says how much does she have left? She used them. She doesn't still have them. Awesome. Now it's time for the estimate. Really think of where 5/8 is close to and what 7/8 is close to before you write your estimate. Choose the estimate that fits best. All right, for me, I would estimate by saying 2 5/8. Okay, 4/8 is technically half. 5/8 is just a little bit bigger, so I think that's close enough to half. So I would say 2 1/2. 1 7/8. 7/8 is almost 8/8. That means it's almost a whole. So 1 7/8 is really close to 2. So 2 1/2 minus 2 is 1/2. She should have about a half a pita left. All right, I'm going to use my number line to help me with this one. The reason why I'm going to use my number line and not the picture is because you do have to borrow a little bit with this one. And no, actually, I will use the picture. I'll start it out and I'll draw it for you, and we'll see what you can do. If you don't like the picture, that's fine. Use any way you choose. Okay? So 2 5/8 minus 1 7/8. So I need to find a way to mark out 1 7/8. Do whichever way you choose, find the answer. All right, the way we do this question is we mark out one whole, and then we need to mark out 7/8. So I know that this is 5/8. All right, I need to break this one up. Mark out one more, that's 6, and there's 7. What do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6/8 of the pita left. That was your final answer. Number 4. Nico rode a bike 2 3/10 miles. Then he rode another 2 8/10. How far did he ride? Write your number model on the line. All right, for this question, your number model will be 2 3/10 plus 2 8/10 equals M. That is what you should have chosen. All right, time for my estimate. 2 3/10. Think about where 3/10 is. Is it closer to 0, 1, or 1/2? Think about 8/10. What's it closest to? Use those benchmarks to help you find your estimate. All right, for me, I would have said 3/10 is closer to 2. It's going to make it closer to 2 than it is 2.5. So I would say 2 plus 8/10 is going to make it closer to 3 than it is half. So 2 plus 3 equals 5. Again, make it easy. So my estimate says 2 plus 3 equals 5. For this one, use any way you choose, figure out what the answer is, and then you'll continue. All right, the way I would have done this problem is I'm going to use my number line this time. And I know 2 plus 2 is 4. So I can already start a lot higher because I'm adding. So I'm going to start with 4 because it's already at 4, right? Already at 4. And then I'm going to split my number line into tenths. All right, here we go. I started at 4 because that's my whole numbers. Now I'm going to add 3/10. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to add 8/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is where I end up. So now that shows me that my answer is going to be 5 1/10. If you had 5 1/10, awesome job. Explaining how you solved problem 3. On this question, if it were a test or if it were an assessment, I would just be very clear with how I estimated and solved my problem. All right, your job now is to go do your math boxes. Try very hard today. I will see you during the Zooms. Have a great day, guys.